Charity Pierce, known to millions as one of the most unforgettable faces from my 600-pound life, her story was never just about weight. It was about survival, pain, hope, and the long fight to reclaim a life that once felt out of reach. When news broke that Charity Pierce had passed away at the age of 50, the reaction was immediate and emotional. Viewers who had followed her journey for years felt as if they had lost someone they truly knew and waiting for funeral to honor her. Today, we will tell you about the funeral and everything surrounding what fans are now waiting to hear. Charity Pierce's passing was confirmed by her daughter, Charlie Jo, who shared the heartbreaking update through a public message. In her words, she said her mother was finally at peace. The message was filled with love, grief, and exhaustion, but it offered few details. No official cause of death was shared, and that lack of information left many people struggling to process the loss. Charity had spent years openly discussing her health battles, yet she had also spoken recently about motivation, goals, and change. That contrast made her death even harder for many to understand. Charity first became known to audiences in 2015 when she appeared on Season 3 of My 600-Pound Life. At the beginning of her journey, she weighed approximately 778 pounds. Her daily life was shaped by constant physical pain, limited mobility, and dependence on others. Tasks most people take for granted required careful planning, assistance, and emotional strength. The show did not soften these realities. It showed the full weight of her situation, both physically and emotionally. From the start, Charity's story stood out because of its raw honesty. She did not hide frustration, anger, or fear. She spoke openly about how food had become a coping mechanism for years of emotional trauma. Her weight was not just a medical condition, it was the result of deep psychological wounds that had never fully healed. Viewers saw how those wounds affected her motivation, her relationships, and her sense of self-worth. Her health challenges were serious and ongoing. Charity faced multiple medical complications related to her weight, and her progress toward surgery was slowed by setbacks. These moments were painful to watch, but they were also realistic. Change did not come quickly or easily for her. Each small step forward required enormous effort, patience, and resilience. Despite these challenges, Charity made significant progress over time. She lost approximately 282 pounds, bringing her weight down to around 496 pounds. While she still faced serious health risks, this achievement represented years of determination. It showed that even slow progress matters. For many viewers, her journey was not inspiring because it was perfect, but because it was real. One of the most emotional aspects of Charity's story was her relationship with her family, especially her daughter, Charlie Jo. Years of trauma, disappointment, and emotional distance had created deep wounds between them. Charity admitted that being around family often reminded her of painful memories from her past. At one point, she chose to keep distance from her loved ones as a way to protect herself emotionally. That distance, however, came with its own cost. Charlie Jo expressed feelings of hurt, abandonment, and confusion that viewers watched as mother and daughter struggled to communicate, forgive, and reconnect. Their relationship was not presented as a simple success story. It was complicated, fragile, and deeply human. In later updates, Charity began to reflect more openly on her role as a mother. During My 600-Pound Life. Where are they now? She spoke about wanting to rebuild her relationship with Charlie. She acknowledged that she had not always been present or supportive in the ways her daughter needed. That admission required humility and courage. It showed a woman willing to confront her mistakes rather than deny them. Charity described this period as a kind of emotional awakening. She said that after difficult conversations with Charlie, she began to feel like she was waking up after years of emotional numbness. And she expressed a desire to become the mother her daughter deserved. Those words now carry even more weight after her passing. Beyond family, Charity also spoke about goals that many people never think twice about. She wanted a job. She wanted to drive a car. She wanted independence. These goals were not about fame or recognition. They were about dignity and self-respect. Charity had spent more than 20 years without those basic freedoms, and reclaiming them felt like reclaiming life itself. In interviews and follow-up episodes, Charity shared how motivated she felt when she began pushing herself again. She spoke about feeling excited for the future, even though the journey had been filled with pain. She credited her renewed determination to her daughter, saying that Charlie's hard choices forced her to confront reality and take responsibility for her life. Charity was honest about the fact that she had to spiral downward before she could begin climbing back up. She said that once she felt even a small amount of hope, it was like life returned to her. That honesty resonated with many viewers who understood how messy real change can be. When news of her death spread, fans returned to her episodes, interviews, and social media posts. Comment sections filled with messages of grief, gratitude, and reflection. Many people shared how Charity's journey helped them confront their own struggles with weight, mental health, addiction, or trauma. Others simply expressed sadness that her story ended this way. Charlie Joe's message added another layer of heartbreak. She explained that she had not planned to make the news public immediately, but constant calls and messages made it overwhelming. She shared that she was grateful to be by her mother's side during her final moments. That detail deeply affected many viewers who had watched their relationship evolve over the years. Charity Pierce was not just a reality television figure. She was a woman who allowed millions of people to see her at her most vulnerable. She showed pain that many hide and struggles that often remain invisible. That level of openness came at an emotional cost, but it also created a lasting impact. Her life highlighted the long-term effects of extreme obesity, not only on the body, but on mental health, relationships, and identity. Years of medical complications and emotional stress shaped her journey. Even as she made progress, her health remained fragile. Those who followed her story understood that recovery is not guaranteed, even with effort and determination. In the months before her death, Charity spoke with gratitude about her journey. She said that, despite the pain, she was thankful for every part of it because it helped her become more aware, more motivated, and more alive. She spoke about finally feeling like she was living again. That is what makes her passing especially difficult for many people to accept. It came at a time when she appeared to be rebuilding emotionally and mentally. The contrast between that hope and the final outcome makes the loss feel heavier. Charity's story also sparked broader conversations about compassion. Viewers were reminded that behind every health struggle is a complex human being with a history, emotions, and dreams. Her journey challenged people to look beyond judgment and toward understanding. As of now, there has been no officially confirmed funeral or memorial service update for Charity Pierce. No public date, time, or location has been announced by her family. Those closest to her are asking for privacy as they grieve. When verified information becomes available, it is expected to be shared through official channels. Until then, there is no confirmed funeral update, and as soon as details are released, they will be communicated. Charity Pierce's legacy does not lie in television ratings or viral moments. It lives in the honesty she showed and the conversations she started. Her journey reminded people that healing is slow, change is difficult, and hope can exist even in the darkest circumstances. She may be gone, but the impact of her life remains. For those who followed her story, Charity Pierce will be remembered not just for how much weight she lost, but for the courage it took to let the world see her struggle.